By the way, I'm going to record it. So I want to start today with this. It's really important that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a change maker, as an innovator, wherever you are in the world, it's so important that right now we use our voice for good and that we share our story and stories, because people still are hungry for direction. They're hungry for inspiration. They're hungry for the good guys to show them where they are, you know, how to get from where they are to where they want to go. When I say good guys, that includes women, right? That's just a phrase. This is why it's our time, or your time, to really step into standing on stage, even if you do it now on a different level. What you put out there can seriously impact industries, impact lives, and this is our time to use our voice for good. So I really want you to keep that in mind as we go through it. So as I began to explain, tonight is club night. We do this once a month. We open up to the public, and we have sometimes keynote speakers I bring in. I often lead some trainings in there as well. We do one-to-one trainings that I do. I work with people on their signature talk. I do some one-to-one coaching every now and then. We run the Standout Academy, and the brand new mastermind, which is already launched, which is starting for its second intake, is the 10K mastermind, where our job is to help you make 10K from speaking, whether that be 10K a day, a month, a week. That is up to you, but that's our role. So that's some of the stuff we offer at Speaker Express. If anything like that appeals to you, then please do let me know. I will tell you how to move forwards with us as well. The other thing I want us to remember is this: never has there been a more important time to connect and serve communities globally. I think what happened very beautifully through the pandemic is communities came together, connected, because we had a common enemy. We had an invisible enemy that didn't discriminate. It took out everybody, anybody equally. Now that needs to continue. One of the greatest ways to connect and serve your community globally is through the use of speaking. It's through getting up on stage and using your voice for good, sharing your story, and enrolling people to work with you so they can continue the journey with you. That is super important. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. We started in a smelly, stinky pub in London, in Kentish Town. The floors were sticky. Anyone been to a pub like that? Give me a lie in the chat room if you've been to a smelly, stinky pub anywhere in the world. Yeah, later tonight. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? You go in and your feet stuck to the floor and it just smells bad, right? That's where we started. I'm happy to say that we've since graduated to other nicer venues across the UK. I speak globally as well, so it's no longer smelly pubs. But everybody starts somewhere, right? Or smelly bar. There's a load in Sunderland. Excellent. Well, then you know what I mean. So we work with a variety of businesses and corporates. We work with the BBC. We work with banks. We've helped people get onto Dragon's Den, which is Shark's Tank for American colleagues. We've helped people get on TEDx stages. I'm also a TED coach. So should you ever have a TEDx or anything like that, I can help really pull it out and work with you on that. And we've done TV and things like that. This is the team. It shrunk a lot in the last 12 months. My co-founder, Anik, now lives in Australia. My wife helps me with the marketing. She's an advisor. We've also got Rashma, who's one of the coaches. And there's also Regina, who I should really put a picture on there. And there's James, the work and do the website stuff. But that's the kind of the everyday team. A little bit about me. I co-founded Speaker Express over a decade ago. I am head giraffe, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about being head giraffe in a minute. I also write for magazines. I've got over 8,000 hours of delivering talks globally, virtually, and offline. I've written 5 books. 2 of them are bestsellers. I mentor the Princess Trust, and I do have a podcast called Voice for Good, and I'm in the process of launching a brand new podcast as well. And I'm an accredited virtual speaker, which means I paid someone to tell me I could speak online. That was a good use of $85. What can I tell you? Fantastic use of $85. So if you want to know, the new book, Stand Out as a Speaker and Be More Giraffe, is coming out on the 7th of October. So watch out for information about that because it's on its way. I'm super excited. It is on Amazon. You can grab it on Amazon, but the official pre-launch and everything like that is going to start soon. And we're on the 7th of October at 7 p.m. UK time. We're doing a virtual launch. Put that in your diary because I will be sharing everything about that. What I'd love to know is, what is your greatest challenge right now with speaking, with monetizing your speaking? I'd love you to type that in the chat box. So what is your greatest challenge right now when it comes to speaking? Type it in the chat box, because I want to make sure that today we serve you. I worked at the edge of Camden.
Oh, where to start? Where to start?
This was terrible. Getting gigs. Okay, cool. Where to start? Well, let's start somewhere, right? Just going to quickly, just need to grab something. So if you see the stop share, keep going, keep typing. So what is your biggest? So we got getting gigs. Where do I start? Well, at the beginning. Really nice. Let me see what else is coming up there. Paid gigs. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Start getting gigs. Getting gigs. How to get paid gigs. How to share my passion. Great. How to increase connection. Where to start. Okay. Someone else put that. More visibility. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Keep those in mind, because I'm going to go through a whole bunch of things, right places to approach, everything like that. If I haven't answered what your challenge is, you have permission to put your hand out and say, Elliot, I have a question, and do it that way, right? So the way we work and the methodology we use works across industries. So top left, we've got Julian, who's a tech entrepreneur. We've got an influencer, Kelly, there with the right dress. In the middle is Pau. She's a tech entrepreneur. Then you've got authors, influencers. You've got property entrepreneurs. We work with a variety of industries because it's about the methodology, not necessarily about what you do. Coaches, trainers, consultants, influencers, chefs. We work with a whole bunch here at Speaker Express, and it's all around the 6 key areas, which is confidence, but that's not just confidence to speak, it's the confidence to sell, it's the confidence to step up. Brand message, make sure that your messaging lands on your ideal audience so it attracts the right type of bookings, it attracts the right type of clients. Signature talk, having that one talk you can deliver again and again and again that wins you bookings, that gets you paid. Getting booked, how do you get booked? We're going to talk about that today a lot. Also, pitch and selling. A lot of people love the speaking part, hate the selling part. Give me a thumbs up or a yay in the chat room if you, like, I love speaking, I hate selling, right? So we work on that quite well, quite closely, because believe it or not, if you're speaking, you're selling, period, whatever you're speaking about, right? And then, of course, build your profile. How do you speaking, hate selling, there we are. How do you speaking to build your profile? So that way we won't be covering as such today, but we will be covering aspects of it, and I'm going to give you a little taste of it as well. So here's what I want you to do. You've seen the 6 key areas of the speaker's method. In the chat, I've put a link. I want you to take the influencer test to find out where you stand against all 6 areas. It's going to take no more than 3 minutes. Claudia, Glenn, and Keith, you don't need to do it because you've already done it in some capacity. You can if you want. What you will get is a personalized score and a report that tells you exactly where you stand. And what I'd love you to do is, once you've done it in the next 3 minutes, give me the score. I want to see where you'll stand. Be honest when it asks questions, right? Be very honest, and I'd love to see the score. It's just 3 minutes.
Next
In the
week.
meantime, you can, by all means.
Be scared, but might do it.
Who's scared? I believe in you. I hope that's worth something. Love to play music, but every time I play music, it ruins my sound and the echo. So we're just going to be quiet for 3 minutes.
Next bit in your field. Oh, credible.
There we go. And when you're done, paste it. And Donna Hudson, you don't need to do this as such, unless you really want to. Hi, Shabari, lovely to see you. I haven't said hello to you. Gradle, is that Gradle? Lovely to see you as well. Welcome, welcome. So nice to see you all. So I'm intrigued about these scores. Let's see. Stop sharing. Just be warned, my daughter might come in to say hello. She's a bit like her dad. So let's see those scores coming. Hey, Joe, nice to see you.
Hi, Elliot.
Hi, Joe. Wayne, your over score is 80%. Well, 63%. Well done, Wayne. Completed but can't find the score. It should have taken to a landing page, and on the landing page, it's got the score at the top. Wayne, would you say that's quite accurate? 74%. Go, Diana. Boom. Love it. Nina, if you could, you should get it emailed as well, but it should be on the page straight away. Maybe scroll up. Look at Diana.
I can't find it for some strange reason.
I might have to deep dive and find it for you. I'd have to go into the whole back end for you. So maybe when Keith is talking or something like that, I can nip in and find it for you.
Okay, if it's on email, I'll have a look on my email. Will it have come through automatically, would it?
Yeah, it can take up to an hour.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, but I can track it down for you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. So we've got 74. We've got incomplete score. We've got 63. So Wayne, would you say that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I would definitely say that's accurate.
See, it's an incredible piece of software. It's just so clever. AI just knows this thing. Jabari, 66. Lovetropic.info. Good stuff. Quite a high level group. I like it. I like it. And where you are, by the way, is perfect. So I don't want you to look at Jabari, to look at Dan and go, oh, I'm not 74. I should be 74. It's not about that. It's just a snapshot where you are. So when we finish this today, you can, oh, I know how to get up. I know how to get to next level, right? That's what this is all about. Okay, let's see the others come through. We've got Donna Brown. We've got, is that Gradle? Am I saying the name Gradle? How do I say that name correctly? Please correct me. Is that Gradle? Sandra, out of the park, 76. Rock and roll. I love it. Good stuff. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get going. Otherwise, we can make that up time. How are you guys feeling reading the report? Wayne, what did you want to say? I saw you unmute yourself. I see you.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what's the highest percentage you've seen anybody achieve on that? Has anybody actually reached 100% or?
Yeah, the odd person reaches 95 and 100. So they're either BSers or they're like super, super high level speakers. The ones that are really like out there doing the big conferences and they're booked up, they tend to hit the 100. I've only seen it with two people. One of them was Andy Harrington, if those of you know Andy Harrington, who did my test. And the other one was, I can't remember his name, but he was 95. And he was very, like, he's way up there. So it doesn't surprise me. Those are the only two I've ever seen with 100. And me, of course. No. I don't know. If I did it, I'd be fairly high. All right. I'm waiting for one more score. Who's going to give it? Who's going to volunteer it? Who's going to do it? And then we'll go. Bum, bum, bum. Joe, what's yours?
This is Donna. Should I type in my score or do you get my score?
You can just tell me. What was it, Donna?
53.
Amazing. Yay. Okay, thank you. So what I want you to do right now is just, obviously you've got that score, you've got a report, you'll get emailed a report as well. Keep that in mind, because what I want to do is I want to help you increase that wherever you are right now, right? Oh, the slide's gone all strange, hasn't it? Oh, bizarre. So what I want to say is whether you're beginning or a speaker that says leader, expert, influencer, wherever you are right now, what we really want to do is show you how to move to the next level. Because the more we can work on your speaker journey, the more we can work on the confidence to sell, to get paid, the more we can move into the expert leader space, the more you become that authority, and then you become that ultimate authority that gets those high fees, high paid gigs. And that's really what we want to move you to. That's why I wanted you to do the assessment, right? Hey, Anise is coming. Woo-hoo. We love Anise. She's in Philadelphia. Someone else was in Philadelphia. No, not in this. It was in today in Clubhouse that someone's in Philadelphia. Hi, Anais. Lovely to see you. I hope the weather's nice in Philly. Always a pleasure to see you. So let's talk about this for a minute. What are the key components that you need to get those big paying gigs? And I'm going to talk about one by one. And then there's some questions I want you to go away, think about, because you've just done that little assessment. You know where you are. You know where there's room to improve. So the first thing I really want you all to be very honest about after tonight is think, are you current? The last 18 months has wiped a lot of people's subjects off the table, including mine. I had to reinvent my talks 3 or 4 times in the last 12 months to remain current. Now, there's a variety of industries, there's a variety of people in this room. What's important is to stay current. And if you're not current, be very honest with yourself. If you're not getting those bookings, if you're not getting those inquiries, if you're not being offered to be paid, the chances are you're not current, right? So make sure that you are current, because if you're not current, the basis of everything you do, people won't want to know. So number one, are you current? Number two, do you have the right images? Now, remember, tonight is all about getting those high paid speaking gigs. What I'm giving you here is kind of the basics. If you don't have that, you just won't get taken seriously by people who pay, right? Number one, being current. Number two, do you have those images that show you to be the speaker that you're positioning yourself to be? If not, it's okay, right? Use this as an audit as well. But if you don't have those images that show that you can be a big room speaker and a small room speaker, if you've just got an image of you back of the room and it looks like people around tables, you look like a workshop speaker. Nothing wrong with that. Just understand that each image will portray a different type of speaker that they would look to book. Now, if there's one industry that looks to book you in, it's the speaking industry, because they want to make sure that Keith fits the box that I'm looking for. And if he fits the box I'm looking for, I'll pay Keith because I know he fits that box. So images is a big part of that, right? The next part after that, number 3, is footage. Footage, right? You speaking is a big one if you can get hold of it. But if not, a showreel that shows off how current your content is. So it can be just a camera, right? But footage is essential. People need to see, hear, and get feeling from you. Yes, an image can do that, but footage is a massive part of it. And again, if you don't have any yet, there's ways I can help you with that, or you can reach out and do that. But footage is essential. And it's okay to have virtual footage. In fact, now there's an expectancy to see virtual footage as much as stage footage. And for 12 months, actually, people were looking more for virtual footage than they were stage footage. Now you need a hybrid. The next part, as Claudia, Keith, Donna, Glenn, Donna Hudson all learned a couple of weeks ago, is your speaker bio is incredibly important. It's got to, here's the mistake people make. They write a bio like a normal bio, like a business bio. But what the bio needs to be written in a way that attracts your booker, the person that will book you. Basically, it's a sales brochure. So it's about attracting the booker, and your speaker bio needs to do that. Now, here's a mistake a lot of people make. So as you're auditing tonight, and as you're learning what it takes to get your score up and get those high paid speaking gigs, a lot of people think that the nice to have stuff at the front versus the must have stuff at the front. I used to put a bit what you read, 8,000 hours, 4 books, the time is 4 books, blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. That's nice. but it doesn't tell the booker anything about me as a speaker, what they can get, what they can expect. And that's really what you need to lead with when it comes to speaker bio, right? Have a think about that. Is it selling you to the booker? The next part is your testimonials. Have you got testimonials that are results-based, that show the person booking you the results you give and what the audience get? Not, Claudia's a great speaker, she was amazing, I felt so happy. That again doesn't mean anything to the booker, right? No, Claudia left the audience with 3 incredible life-changing steps that allowed them to be far more productive with their time than they've ever been. Something like that, boom, then they get it. Focus. This is a big one, people. If you're not focused and consistent, and if you don't go after focused gigs, this is another, for all of you that said where to get speaking gigs from, have you ever sat down and got really focused on the type of speaking gigs you want? If the answer is no, that's a big problem, because if you're going, I want speaking gigs, I want to speak at colleges, that is that's so wide. But if you went, you know what? I only want to speak at colleges like Harvard, Cambridge, whatever, Ivy colleges, because I know they have the budgets, I know they have the audience that I'm looking for. I only want to speak in front of 50 plus retiring men whose pensions are coming clean, right? Really get focused. The more focus you have, actually the easier it is for you to adapt and put your positioning and become that go-to speaker that gets paid to speak in that space. People go too broad, right? I want to speak in the wellness space. I want to speak in personal development space. That is so wide. I want to speak in front of investors. I want to speak in front of tech investors that have a portfolio of 100 million only, right? Again, shrinks it down, but allows you to get focused. That's what I'm talking about. So really sit down and go, what kind of speaking gigs do I want? And the other thing I want to say before I kind of go to the next slide is there's 2 avatars. You've got 2 people you're always pitching to, right? You're pitching to conferences and events who pay, but also you're pitching to people who run communities who put on events. And they're just slightly different ways of pitching, right? So again, everybody on the 10K Mastermind, you've got to get your pitch video out by next Tuesday on LinkedIn, remember, right? Because, you know, Keith has done his homework, but some of you haven't. Because here's the thing, pitching to land yourself a speaking gig in a conference is very different to pitching to someone who runs a community that puts on events. And you need to know the difference, and you need to know that you are speaking to them slightly differently. Okay, Joe's got 60. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, and I wanted you to keep that in mind. So quick recap, right? Feel free to take a picture of these questions, use them as an audit. Are you current with your content? Are you up to date? Do your image show you're speaking off? Show what kind of speaker you are? Do you have footage? Does it show you off in the right way? Does it portray you in the right way? Because a lot of people go, I have a show reel, but it's 3 years old. Well, is it still current? Does it show you off to the speaker you are today, right? I last year had to do a new show reel because a lot of my stuff is like jeans and jackets. And for this particular show reel, I wanted to appeal to corporates. So I had to shoot a whole new show reel that would appeal to corporates. Do you have a speaker bio, which describes to the booker what is in it for them, right? Do you have at least, that should say, one signature talk that you're known for, which leads to you getting repeat bookings, sales, and leads? Are you laser focused about what kind of bookings you want? And can you pitch yourself? So feel free to take a picture of those questions, use them as an audit. When you can go, I am current, I've got great images, it shows off the speaker that I am, you know, I've got footage that really captures me as a speaker, the essence, the feeling, the vibe. The bio appeals to the booker that I want to book me. I do have 1 or 2 or 3 signature talks or keynotes that I'm known for. I know the type of gigs I want, and I know how to pitch myself. That's when you get the big speaking paid gigs. So I want you to think about it. All right. That is me. That is my section done. What I'd love you to type, I will come back after Claudia for a few minutes. I'd like you to type in the chat what your biggest takeaway was from that. That's why I want to hear, like, what was your takeaway? Did you have an aha moment? Because you've also got the score. So you got something to measure against what you need to tweak to get that score up. So what's your takeaway from hearing that, listening to that? And I'd love to know one action step you'll do as well.